Hello, hello, hello. I'm Andrea Stevens,
And I'm Jeanette Mejias, and we are WABS Women.
where exposure brings strength. This is an exciting episode. Exciting, everyone. This is episode 100. And on our 100th episode, it is also Jeanette, my partner in crime's birthday. Happy birthday to ya. Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday to me. Happy
Happy birthday.
birthday.
As I'm
Yes,
dancing
sister.
away.
Yes.
It's an exciting day.
August 2nd is an exciting day indeed. I think I'm more excited about hitting our 100th episode today. How perfect that we're recording on the actual day. It's not a pre-recording. We are
Yeah,
live on August 2nd on my born day. I mean, it can't get better than that. I just think it's simply fabulous.
it cannot. It all played, especially because we were going to pre-record. And
Yeah, we
then
were.
it just
Yes.
happened that it
Yes.
all, everything, you know what though? Listen, when you are at peace and your heart is at peace and you align, it
That's
just all
it.
works out,
The stars
right?
always align, baby girl.
Always, always. And there was that
Always.
shitty ass full moon too that really
Yeah.
messed up my couple of days, really
Yeah.
messed them up. But
Yeah. Full moon is no joke.
yeah,
So
but here we are. Bye, full moon. See ya.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. We're um what's the word? We are raising the frequency, baby.
Raising the frequency. I love it. I
Yes.
love it. I love it.
So for all those who are listening to us, especially my fellow Leos, this is our season. So you know how that goes. We just turn things up because
Turn it up. Turn it up.
that's how we roll.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna keep this episode light and fun and short
Yeah.
to our listeners. But I think I wanted to just first of all, I just wanted to um, express my gratitude. Um, I came off of a very amazing retreat with Barb Klein, our dear
Mm-hmm.
friend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, about two, was it last week? I can't even
Well,
keep
it was. It was
straight.
last week. Yes, it was. It's last
Yes.
weekend. It was last weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. See, time goes by so fast. I don't even know. I'm on the clouds. I don't even know what days or
I
what.
wish I was there because I want to be on the
Ah,
clouds.
girl. So yeah, so I came off out of this retreat and I am not a stranger to retreats. This is my fourth, might be my fifth one.
Mm-hmm.
And every retreat is very different. And it's different because you are different. You show up differently because you're always in different seasons of your life. So if you
Mm-hmm.
choose to do a retreat, obviously whatever is going on within your life in that season, you're going to show up in that way and you're going to receive in that way. And so for me, of course, I started this practice as how would I say, a way to guard myself
Mm-hmm.
and implement and keep in alignment with the tools. Because I think when you go to retreats, it's great because you're refreshing yourself and you're getting additional tools.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest challenge will be leaving that retreat and coming back, right, to the day to day, back to your environment.
Mm-hmm.
Or when you're in a retreat, you're in peace, you're in grounds that are lovely, you are
Mm-hmm.
around like-minded folks.
You
It's
left all of your world behind. Yeah.
right. You're not thinking about anything. And um and you stay in a cloud. And I have to say that I think me coming back from that retreat, I feel different. I feel at peace, and I've been implementing the tools that I walked away with.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest tools, and it's no stranger to you, and it's no strange topic to our listeners,
Mm-hmm.
but it's writing every day what I'm grateful for. And I did
Mm-hmm.
get out of that practice many years back, and I made a commitment and a promise to myself. that I was going to write pages of gratitude each day, spend a couple of minutes. And that has really changed the way I show up in my day. And let me tell you, my environment hasn't changed. Stress is still there.
Yeah.
Um, challenges are going to come at me. There, I mean, that's just reality of life.
Mm-hmm.
But what I found was a perfect example. I was in my office yesterday, had a conversation with a colleague, and the long and short of it, it was just I was just getting in, some information that was just like, okay, um, you know, I'm in a very stressful type of work. And so there's always us putting out fires. And typically I'd get worked up about it, but I really was not. It just rolled off my back. I kind of was like, okay, that's good information to know. I'll keep that, in the back of my mind, because it helps me how to move forward in my work. So to me, I looked at it as an assistance for me. And I think that that all came from, in my belief, is from this attitude of gratitude and implementing these practices. So
Yeah. So I mean, I know you haven't been practicing for a while because you just went to the retreat. I know that you used to.
yes,
I know that I used to as
yeah,
well. And you get in the habit, you kind of get in that habit for a little bit and then it stops, and
yeah,
that's
and
what
that's
happened.
it's very common. But I think
Yeah.
that one of the things that I've learned is that a powerful statement that Barb mentioned, and I can disclose it because it's something that she would
Post.
say openly anyhow.
Yeah.
She had said, given, you know, what she has been facing, as we all know, because she came on our podcast and shared um losing her son and grief and all of that. And a lot of people were like very in awe of how she has been managing and getting
Right.
her day-to-day life losing a child.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And she said something that to me was an aha moment. And I think that was like for me, like I'm just not going to lose this practice. She said the reason that she has been able to kind of strike a little bit of that balance is not to say that she doesn't have moments where she's sad, but the reason that she's been able to be sustained in a certain way, finding like the joys even when she is living through this, is because of these practices that she's been consistent for so many years. She's done
Yeah.
the foundational internal work. And
Yeah.
then in listening to that, I was like, I recognize that when I fell out of this practice, how easily agitated I've been. Everything's been setting me off. I have been really just in a fight and flight. The world just looks not as nice anymore to me. I don't even want to be out. I don't
Yeah.
want to engage. And so I was like, okay, I need to shift and start doing that internal work and implementing those daily practices because it's inevitable that I am going to lose my mom. I don't know when God's going to call her home, but I know she is going to pass away. And that will be a whole level for me because although I lost my dad at a very young age, I don't recall. I had different type of trauma with that loss of my father. So grief looked different for me. And I kind of just went through life because I was little. I was only 4. And I had my mom.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything else. But being with my mom from, birth until in this moment and knowing that that day will come, I certainly would require to have that foundation
Yeah.
to assist me to get through, you know, when that time happens.
Yeah.
So I think that for me was just such an aha moment for me.
Yeah.
And it feels
And
good to write
yeah.
down what you're grateful for. You actually start to smile and you
Yeah.
start to notice things that I typically wouldn't notice, honestly.
Right. Yeah.
And it feels good. And I want anybody who's listening, I want whoever is not feeling good about life or feeling good about things or people suck or life sucks or your job sucks or whatever. I really just, want you to just start writing what you're grateful for. And I can promise you that all those feelings that you are experiencing, it's going to start, you're going to start to feel and see things differently.
Hmm.
Got to give it time. It's not going to happen overnight. I'm
Right.
not saying everything's going to be confetti and bubbles and rainbows because you are going to have your days.
Yeah.
And it's going to sometimes going to be hard to find what I'm grateful for. But if you
Hmm.
could just, even if it's one thing, you don't have to
Yeah.
list a million things. If it's just one thing you can write down, hey, I'm grateful that I didn't lose my shit today. And I
Yeah.
really handled myself really well. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I agree. I mean, it's almost the reverse of what I do usually during the week when I write down everything I want to release and burn it in my fire pit. My neighbors see me out there every single morning and I'm burning something. It's typically for myself and for my team at work or from some of my team members. But yeah, it's kind of the role reversal, like I'm releasing all this stuff that I want out of my mind, of my heart, all of it. Even if it's not work related, it's everything. Right. And so sometimes I'm releasing that stuff, but I'm releasing things that I don't want instead of looking at the things that I'm happy
Yeah.
with. Right.
And I think that, and I know we talked about this in the past, but I think what you have to do what works for you. And I
Right.
find for me is creating that awareness has been
Mm.
huge for me.
Yeah.
And um, and knowing when to pause. I mean,
Right.
listen, I can go at it and be plugged to my screen all day. I have done it. And I just arrive in a place that is not healthy. It is not
Mm.
productive because at a certain point, I'm not really being productive. I'm staring and
Right.
at all my 50 tabs that are opened.
Right. Right. Right.
How is, I may have had some juice for a couple of hours, but when you're hitting beyond the mark of your hour,
Yeah.
just to be able to accomplish something, your body's letting you know, your brain's telling you haven't stopped, you didn't eat, you didn't go for your walk, you didn't pause, you didn't stand up because your Apple Watch
Hmm.
tells you you're supposed to stand. You're just ignoring
Right.
yourself. And what is that at the expense of yourself? And it's also at the expense of your loved ones, your
Hmm.
family members, whoever's in your close circle. Because guess what? You're going to snap. You're going to get agitated when they even ask you, hey, what's for
Right.
dinner? It's like,
Right.
what?
Right.
What do you mean? Figure it out. Go grab
Right.
yourself a sandwich. You know
Get
what
it
I mean?
yourself.
Get it yourself. And then it's like, do they really deserve that? You
Right.
know, they didn't deserve that. The answer would be like, you know what? Can you give me a minute and we'll figure out what we're gonna, because you want to eat as a family. You don't want to be disconnected. So I recognized, if anything else, I recognized some of the things that I was allowing to just continue to ferment in my life.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's me eating before my family, my husband eating with the kids on their own, or they eat independently on their own. And I
Yeah.
was like, this is not living. This is not a good example. And and you have to draw that line and you have to say, this is where I draw the line.
Yeah.
And I think that, I mean, I myself, I'm proud of myself for doing that because I am a servant person by nature and I get lost in the service of others. I truly do.
Yeah.
And it's okay to lose yourself to a certain degree, but not to the point that you can't get yourself back.
Right.
And I think that also, and I don't know, Andrea, you could probably, I'd love to hear your experience, but I know for me, my coping has been keeping busy to avoid. It's an
Mm-hmm.
avoidance of things that I should do.
Yeah.
And so, you know what? I can't do it because I'm doing this. Now I'm choosing to keep busy or to just, avoid. And that, again, doesn't serve in
Mm-hmm.
any capacity. And and I think that I've just been quieting my thoughts and letting myself guide and listening to my body when it tells me you need to take a break. And I respectfully do that. And as a
Mm-hmm.
result of that, I wake up refreshed. I wake up rested, even though I may not have a lot of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I wake up good. I wake up in a great spirit.
Yeah.
And that, I think,
And that's what's most important. It really
yeah,
is.
because it sets the tone of
It
your
starts your
day.
whole day. Yep. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, if anything, I want this episode 100 to be about someone listening in to say, that is me, and walk away at least with a takeaway and implement that in your life, because we
Yeah.
love those who follow us and support us and listen into us. But what we love the most is anything that we talk about, whether it's tools or a guest that comes on that shares amazing things that can
Mm-hmm.
better you and, you know, bring you life. That's what this is about, is us using our own personal experiences, being vulnerable, being real, telling
Mm-hmm.
the truth, because we may appear a certain way and people may have a perception of who we are
Right.
on social media. Oh, Andrea, she's strong as shit. Nothing bothers her. No, but you don't know that you're all heart, and they don't know the things until you throw that on the mic. And this is what
Mm-hmm.
I do, and this is what I,
Yeah. Yeah.
feelings.
And working on yourself is important.
It is. You
It
can't
isn't, and
abandon
it's hard.
yourself.
It's not easy. Oh my gosh,
And
it's not
that's one of
easy.
the words
But
that
yeah.
that's actually Barb's slogan. I will not abandon myself.
Mm,
And that is so like hits home,
mm-hmm.
because how many times we abandon ourselves, how many times we speak awful things about ourselves. But would you say that to your friend? Would you say that to someone that you love? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't speak to them that way. So why
Mm,
don't we speak to ourselves that way? And again, it's just learning to love yourself enough to say, I am enough.
mm-hmm.
And
And commit. You have to commit
commit
to,
to yourself and
yeah.
commit to these practices, because I can promise you, if you don't, you're just going to lose,
Mm-hmm.
time and time again.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can wake up every day and just write one thing down that you're grateful for, happy with.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
One thing and
keep
start there.
growing. Yeah. And just keep adding
Yeah.
up. If your heart calls to
Mm,
do that. If it
yeah.
doesn't, that's okay. But people overthink it. People,
I have to get back to doing it because I'll tell you it helped. I did a 10
I
minute
know.
yoga and I wrote something down every day, or I said my affirmations, and I stopped doing that. I
Yeah.
stopped doing that, and
Because
you
life
can
gets in the way,
tell.
right?
Yeah.
Life
Yeah.
got in the way. You got distracted. You're
Mm-hmm.
putting out fires. You're saving people. And you're like, oh, yeah, yeah, I forgot, but I'll get to that tomorrow. And then tomorrow doesn't come. And then,
Mm-hmm.
when you think about it, then you look at where we're at in the media with mental health.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing.
Right.
It's a real thing here in our state. And, I am aware that if I don't do these practices, I definitely will fall into, a crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I not? I have a lot on my
Right.
plate, right?
Right.
And
Right.
if I'm not doing the balancing act, it ain't
Yeah.
gonna work.
Yeah.
So I think we should just close out with um sending our listeners all the good vibes
Mm-hmm.
all what is good. And, the hope is that there are a lot of golden nuggets that you took away, and that, you'll make a promise to yourself, whatever that promise is. It doesn't have to be a gratitude, but whatever that promise is, make a promise to yourself and commit to that promise, whether it's eating healthier, whether it's having your water, whatever that looks like, movement, whatever brings joy, do it. And I
Yeah.
thank you, Andrea. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful that you had a vision of
Aw.
this podcast, and you brought it to light, and I'm happy to be your partner, and I'm enjoying the ride. So thank you, sister.
Aw, well, thank you. And happy birthday. Enjoy your special day.
Thank you. I
It's
will.
so
I
exciting.
will. I will.
Yeah.
I celebrate all month long. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So there's still time to wish me a happy birthday for those who were like,
I'll
"Oh,
sing to you
shoot,
tomorrow too if you
I
want.
forgot to wish her a happy birthday." Don't worry. I take them all month long. So
Wait, at 6 a.m. when I'm grateful for you, can I call you and sing happy
yes, of course
birthday?
you can. Because I'm likely not sleeping and I'm up, or my
Oh,
mom is keeping things interesting in the house. So
I'm going to call and sing. You can put me on speaker so she can hear me too.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And she's actually, making her little comments. I don't know if you can hear it, but
I love
she's a
it. I
trip.
love when I hear her in the background.
She's a trip. She's a
She's so
trip.
darn cute. I love it. I love it. But yes, I want many wishes for your next year around the sun. You're starting here, you know?
Thank you, my
So I
friend.
think, yeah, I'm
I
thankful for
appreciate
you. I
that.
love you
I
again.
love you too.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And remember, everybody, you're listening to Web's Women.
Where exposure brings strength.